Okay, so now I'm going to have some fun with it, and I'm going to play with the color balance of the hide here. So I'm on the buffalo hide, this patchy skin, and you'll see if I want to bring the reds in of the Clydesdale and in some of the deer reference, I can do that in the midtones. And I can warm it up if I want to in the highlights. I can try different things. It's pretty close to what I want. But I also wanted to contrast with the red. And then with the shadows, I can cool those down and get the pinks out of those shadows. And then I can toggle with Command Z and see if it made much of a difference. So what I actually settled on was very subtle, just a little bit more saturated. I can also play with the levels. Levels will change the actual lightness and darkness of it, especially in the midtones. So I can push it darker, like so, or brighter. I actually like it being on the bright side. So I'm not going to exaggerate it too much. But I do want the underside to really feel like it's fully rounded. And then I can do the same thing with the Clydesdale. Go to color balance, actually go to levels first, just because it's so dark. Brighten up those midtones a little bit, that helps. Don't even need to deepen those shadows. Now go to color balance. Help some of these tones. All right, let's see. Yeah, so taking out some of the saturation of it. Now with this just back neck, oh, that's not it, this thing right here. Yes, this part of the deer, I'm going to play with its saturation a little bit, but I want to turn on all the parts. So I'm going to turn off auto select just so I don't accidentally select a different layer. And I want to play with its levels first. Find the right balance. That looks pretty good. I'm going to play with color balanced. Even though this is subtle, it's showing through everything. Just makes my job easier if everything matches well. And then the head. Make sure that contrast is there where it needs to be, around the eye. Not too dark, but not pale, not washed out. And now let's play with the coloring. So it's funny, all that work on the ear and it's pretty much covered up. But I know it's there. I know it's unique. And then in the highlights, see if I can get a little bit of that warmth in there, especially in the eye. And you don't want to make everything just the exact same color because that will really flatten it out. But what I'm trying to do is bring these things out. Usually by doing warm highlights and cool shadow tones. Cooler color shadow tones. Levels, color balance, and in extreme cases, saturation. Okay, now this has the horns to it. which seem like they do need to go a little bit darker, in the shadow of all that foliage. But I can also just limit the highlight on them. I don't want them to go to black. And then color balance, same thing. It doesn't take much to really make it feel more dimensional. Now, why bother putting all of these different elements and keeping them in separate layers? Why not just combine them? Do a little burning of the nose there so it's a little darker. Well, it's worth keeping them as different layers if we need to change just one little element. To have it on a separate layer is a great advantage than having everything flattened. So for instance, this nose is separate from the flowers behind it, separate from the horse's head behind that. Actually, I can question if I need that horse's head. But I like the front lip it gives me. But I might tweak it just a little bit. By having these as separate layers, it allows you this kind of flexibility. And then if you need to erase something, fine-tune the edge. It's all there for you. A bit of a haircut. All right, so now we're really talking about finishing touches and cutting out any remainders, anything that just doesn't fit in, using all the tricks we've learned. So all this is looking strong. Now I've just got to cut out the green. I'm going to play with his ear now that I've reminded myself of the ear. What if I make a duplicate of it, push it up through those layers, and then erase away from it. So it's just going behind these petals. There's no risk to trying it because it's on a duplicate, right? I do like that, but then I do need to erase out its blending back here. And I might play with its color. Give it a little bit more red life. Warmth. And then if I just want to quickly soften the edge, I can just select around it, do refine edge. It will remember my settings, say OK. And up close, that refine edge tool is very, very helpful. Look how soft those flowers are because of refine edge. And I'll just delete. Nicely softened. Okay, now it's going to be a lot of 100% erasing using layer select, using command to select the layers I need to cut out from, like so. I'm Just doing the job I need. And this isn't so it looks better on the computer screen. This is so it looks better in the print. This is making it print ready, gallery ready, portfolio ready. But obviously, you can only do that if you have the time. Fine-tuning a lot of these edges. And try not to get too obsessive. Which can be tough. Even though all these techniques we've been doing are very different than traditional painting or drawing, when it comes to finishing techniques, it's not that different. Still looking for where you can make the biggest difference with a little bit of refinement. If you want to see what the whole, because I keep telling you, think of the big picture, don't get sucked into little details. If you go to Window and you say Navigator, it will show you the big picture and it will help you also kind of move around and pick areas to focus on. There's always more you can do. It's never going to be super polished. It's why with special effects, companies and movie studios always just keep their picture till the very last moment. Keep on working on edits. And there's still complaints about their special effects shots. People think computer means that it's easy to do, and what computer art really means is that it's possible to do. It still takes just a ton of effort. All that possible customization is where all of the versatility comes from and creativity. It's a good thing. So how do I choose my battles? Anything that looks really pixelated, kind of roughly cut out, any sharp edges that aren't helping, those are the first to get edited out. Trying to bring everything up to the same level of finish. So a lot of it's just softening hard edges, which is why I recommend just staying on that eraser tool.